have the conspiracy theorists, this group QAnon, who, for whatever reasons, thinks that President Trump is out here rounding up pedophiles in a secret sting operation. Every time I say that, every time I say it, it's the most ridiculous. I can't believe it. Every time I say, conspiracy theorists think that President Trump is running a secret sting operation on pedophiles, it makes me laugh because it's so ridiculous and untrue that I can't not say it. I can't say it and not laugh. But yeah, that's one of the topics that the moderator, I can't remember the young lady's name, but the this town hall that President Trump did was on NBC. But this reporter who was interviewing him, she's works for NBC, and she's the correspondent, their White House correspondent. So President Trump is familiar with the young lady, and you know he doesn't seem to appreciate her questions because she asked him questions about stuff that is out there that she knows is false. And he doesn't like it. He doesn't want to answer. He doesn't want the nut jobs of QAnon to know that he's not conducting any sting operation on pedophiles. He's not doing that. He doesn't want them to know that, though. That's if they believe that, that's fine with him because they're going to vote for him, and that's all he really is worried about. He's not concerned about any sting operation. So this lady, this reporter, was asking him about that, and she said, "Why don't you just tell the truth?" And that you're not conducting any sting operation. And he just wouldn't do it. He was pissed off that she was even saying it because he doesn't want QAnon to know that that's not happening. But he wants them to think it is until after November 3rd. So he's basically just arguing with his interviewer in his town hall. Joe Biden's town hall got better ratings than President Trump's, but I don't know why, because it was just straightforward. Questions from a reporter and answers from a politician. You know, not an argument over a bunch of lies like President Trump's were. And that is after Mike Pence's debate 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago now? Are we that far away from Mike Pence's debate with Kamala Harris where he had the fly on his head? Which is funny because he's got all white hair, so you know, a guy with all white hair like that, of course, and his hair is still, I mean, he's not bald or anything. So he's got, you know, good hair on coverage on top. So a guy with all white hair like that, of course, you're going to be able to see a fly on their head. Like you could see in the debate with Mike Pence, the vice president, and Kamala Harris, the vice presidential nominee, which I think that Biden and Harris will win. And Biden, he's 78 years old, so he's not in, I mean, he seems like he's in pretty good health right now, but he's still 78. So I think Kamala Harris may end up being president. But we'll see. I don't wish any harm on Biden. So, but we've never had a president who was 78 years old before. So, Biden will be 78 when he's sworn into office, if they end up winning. So we'll see how that goes. Now I'm going to jump over to sports just for a minute here, because there was something that I don't think I got around to mentioning this on this podcast anyway. And that is, first off, since last I spoke, or last time I done this podcast, this hadn't happened yet, and that is the Lakers, Los Angeles Lakers. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't think I mentioned that. They won the championship, so with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, the Los Angeles Lakers won the championship. One thing I've noticed, though, I got to mention this. While the Lakers were celebrating when they won the championship, their owner of the team, Jeannie Buss, she came out on the floor with the other manager. I think his name is Rob Pelinka. They run the team. I don't know how old Jeannie Buss is, but she is a good-looking woman. I can't believe she was this good-looking. You know what I mean? Because she's not any spring chicken. You know, she's like late 50s, 60 years old or something. And I'm just looking at her like, wow, she is really gorgeous. So I hate to say that about Jeannie Buss. I don't know why I hate to say it. Probably because I don't know how old she is. You know, you don't want to say that about a elderly person, but she's not elderly, you know, but she is the daughter of the late great owner of the Lakers, Dr. Buss. He was actually a doctor and purchased this team, the Los Angeles Lakers. But the Lakers have won the championship, NBA championship. They're world champions. They call them world champions, even though they haven't played any other basketball teams from around the world. But the title still is referred to as, or the team who wins it is referred to as world champions. Maybe one of these days they will progress and get to the point where they actually are world champions by inviting some other teams into the playoffs. That's what I think they should do. That's my opinion. You want to be world champions? Be world champions. Invite some of these other teams from other countries, from their professional league, to the playoffs. Just to the playoffs, not the whole season. But just, you know, or maybe you should play a couple of games against them during the regular season. But invite them to the playoffs. And then if you beat them, you actually will be world champions. Another thing that's going on in sports right now, and since I only was doing this podcast once a week, sometimes a few things happen. Like one of these days we'll get around. Like I say, I keep threatening to have a co-host, but I just haven't found that person yet. One of these days we'll get around to having a co-host and doing a show every day. If it ever, you know, gets any traction online as far as listeners. I know I need to be consistent because I haven't been here in the last few weeks But I've been doing the show once a week. And that's probably going to be maintained until we get a co-host and either do longer shows. They usually are an hour. But if I start doing shows that are longer, it'll be because, I have a co-host and somebody to bounce stuff off of instead of just talking to the audience by myself. But anyway, I digress. The Lakers are world champions, so-called. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in the World Series, and the Tampa Bay Rays are also in the World Series. So, game 1 of the World Series Tuesday night. That's been played by now, and I don't even know who won. I don't even know who won that first game. Dodgers won game 1 of the World Series, so I could find out that quick. I got lucky. Picked up my phone, and right there on Twitter was Dodgers win game 1. So the Dodgers have won the game 1 of the World Series, and we'll keep you posted. Those of you who are interested, I know a lot of you that are podcast listeners are, just all around people, and you don't really listen or pay that close attention to sports. But I do talk about sports because I'm a big sports fan. So you will hear me talk about sports on this show. I have not even mentioned what I think I forgot to mention. I don't even know. But even if I did mention it, I'm going to mention it again. So that's totally fine. And that is Michael Jordan bought a NASCAR team. And he announced that he's going to have Bubba Wallace as the driver of the team. Bubba Wallace, if you remember, had all the racial controversy this season during the pandemic. Just happens to be during the pandemic, but they were still racing. The NASCAR went on. I think they only shut down for like a couple of weeks in NASCAR. Then they decided to open it back up, just without the fans coming to the races. But anyway, Bubba Wallace was the one who found there was a noose found in his garage. There's no noose, a rope that had been fashioned into a noose. There's no noose in any other garage, but they say that it was there for a long time, which is not likely. But, that's what they say, whatever. Anyway, Bubba Wallace will be the driver. He's the driver for Richard Petty right now, 43 team. He will be the driver for Michael Jordan. I don't know what the number will be on that car, but Denny Hamlin, I don't know if Denny Hamlin is going to continue driving, because he actually drives for Joe Gibbs now, and what's been reported is he's going to be in some type of managing capacity of Michael Jordan's team. So Michael Jordan has purchased a NASCAR team. Still owns the Charlotte Hornets as well, which that team is not very good. They were getting there. Now they seem to be back at the bottom. I don't know what happened, but I always felt like Jordan's pretty smart. He knows a lot about basketball, and he's